We managed to beat Chelsea, get 3 points, which is lovely jubbly. But Mitch, we have to turn our heads because the next game is obviously against Sheffield away in the FA Cup. How are you feeling for that one?
Yeah, I feel good. I think we'll go strong. I think it's inevitable that we'll see a couple of changes. I think the likelihood is that we'll see Son back in the starting 11. We'll see Perisic back in the starting 11. I think Porro will get a start as well because I really hope we're going to be on the front foot and controlling the game. I know it's at their place, but we should be. And we might even see someone like Danjuma maybe coming on the right, give Kulusevski a break, leave him on the bench in case we need him, which, if any of those changes do happen for Wednesday, then I haven't got an issue with that because I think they're all capable replacements to come in and be good enough to beat Sheffield United. I think, annoyingly, it looks like they're sort of playing their way back into form in the Championship and solidifying that second place. So they'll come into it with confidence that they can beat us. But, you'd like to think that if Wrexham can take them to 2 games in the FA Cup, then we can do a job on them. And I think the main motivation for the players is going to be, and like you've already mentioned, that there's such a huge opportunity to win the FA Cup this season. I think the 2 biggest threats left in the competition are both the Manchester clubs, who I'm confident that we could beat both of them. Based on this season, I'd actually be more nervous playing Man United than I would be Man City at the moment. But I think the main motivation has got to be is if you win on Wednesday, you're 1 game away from Wembley in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, aren't you? So and when you get to the semi-final of the FA Cup, all 4 teams left in that competition will think that they can win it. So it's just such a huge opportunity. And I actually said it to my mate the other day before the Chelsea game. I said to him, I actually think I would rather lose to Chelsea on Sunday if it meant we won on Wednesday, just because of how big that opportunity is. Obviously, I want us to win every single game. Like, I'm not saying I wanted us to lose, but that opportunity is there. I think there's nearly 6,000 fans going up to the stadium. We've got an extended allocation. So it's going to be a great atmosphere, and you're getting yourselves into that quarterfinal of the FA Cup, and all of a sudden you're dreaming that you can go all the way and lift the trophy. So big game indeed.
100%. And I think that's the thing, Daryl. We all want a trophy as Spurs fans. And like Mitch has said, like we've all kind of said, it's not an easy route to the final, but it's probably the easiest one it's been for a little while.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, when you look at the prospect of an FA Cup quarterfinal, semi-final, and final, it's just surely every player will be completely driven to get there. You know what I mean? And when you see the teams that are left in it, and Mitch already said it there, but yeah, Man United and Man City are the 2 best teams left in it, bar us. And you'd have to fancy yourself. I mean, we've already got a result against City this season. We know what United are capable of, but they're also capable of, absolute capitulation on their day. So you'd like to think we'd have a chance against them as well. And I think we've built a squad strong enough to actually cope with playing in various cups as well. I think the next 3 weeks are going to be extremely telling as to what direction our season is going to go in, with the Sheffield game, of course, and then Wolves away, and then Milan at home. I mean, that's a huge couple of weeks in store, and it's really going to show the fans as well what kind of mentality these players have. Like, it's kind of crunch time now for the season. Are we going to get to the next phase Champions League? Are we going to next phase FA Cup? Or are we going to crash and burn, and we're all going to be depressed come the end of the season and be hoping and praying that we just edge top 4 as per usual? But it'd be nice to see us go on a couple of cup runs, because I think that keeps the excitement alive, and it's not just gunning for the top 4. I think that's always going to be our goal, but to throw a cup run in there is massive. So no, I'm really, really hoping. I think I nearly agree with Mitch there. I'd probably rather beat Sheffield than beat Chelsea, but again, I think beating Chelsea will even drive us on that bit more and give us that extra bit of confidence to beat Sheffield. So it's nice that the 2 can go hand in hand and we can just beat them both.
That would be lovely. No, but it is good. I think you're right in the sense that this is a massive game. And George, I know all night we've spoken about staying consistent, but I think Mitch is right, and Dara, the fact that some sort of change needs to happen, because like Dara says, there's so many fixtures coming up.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what I like as well is some of the other players' mentalities. If you look at Sarr, I think he's got some quotes saying that he's already won like the African Cup of Nations, but he wants to be like African Ballon d'Or winner. He wants to win the Champions League. He wants to win this, that, and the other. And bear in mind, this is such a young player, like one of the youngest in our squads. And every time he has played, he's been the standout player for me as well. So if someone like him were to play on Wednesday, I've got full confidence in him because I think he's a very good, tidy player. And Dan Juma scored in his debut in the FA Cup. Like you said, Sonny hopefully maybe can come in. I'm not as worried anymore. And I've tweeted this earlier today, but when Ben Scott had his injury, I was a little bit worried because of how important he was for the whole season for us. But it's really nice to see the fact that the likes of Skipper stepped up, Sarr stepped up. We've got a decent squad now when everyone's on their A game. So we can sort of afford to make a few changes, but I don't think we should completely change the team at all because like you guys have been saying, an FA Cup is so important to us this season. If we can get top 4 in FA Cup, it's a great season for us. So maybe keep the core foundations the same at the back and obviously Kane playing. But yeah, you can chop a few around.
Definitely. And I think that's the thing. I think we all know that we need to go strong because it's such an opportunity to get a cup this season. But like I said, you don't want to not chop and change a few things just because of how many fixtures we've got coming up. And